Laura Alvarado here. Super excited for today's training. I'm going to be sharing with you the lessons that I learned from building a 100K a month fitness business. I'm also going to be sharing with you the strategies that my client Samantha is using to get leads for less than $2. These are high quality, responsive leads, not tire kickers, and she's gotten over 100 leads in the last 30 days. So if you stay till the end, I'm going to tell you exactly how she's getting these results and how you can get them too. So before we get into all the nitty gritty, I'm going to give you a little bit of background of where I came from. So the very first gym that I ever had was a facility where I basically rented the space to personal trainers. They would bring in their clients and pay rent to me, and it was quite possibly the worst business model ever. It made no money. So once I realized, hey, this isn't working, I switched it up. I started doing small group training and then eventually expanded to large group training, and it started working, right? All of a sudden I was making money, my business was profitable, and I realized, hey, it's time to scale this thing. So I opened up multiple locations and I was like, how can I really grow this into not just a small business, not just a place where I'm owning my job, but how can I really grow this into a fitness empire? And this was around the time when everybody was doing the same thing. So everybody was running 6-week challenges. If they weren't doing a 6-week challenge, they were doing, offers that looked the same. And this is also around the time when automated lead follow-up started to become really popular. So in the beginning, it was all about email. And now at this time, all of a sudden, people are really using SMS. There's a lot of automation that's set up. You're able to get to leads faster and, have less manual work by a team. And again, everybody was running these same offers. So everybody was using the same funnels, the same landing pages. And in the beginning, you used to be able to throw up an ad to a cold audience and you'd get a pretty good response, right? So, you'd throw up a Facebook ad, get some new clients. Everything was, going great. Facebook ads were working until all of a sudden, I noticed, hey, maybe things aren't as great as I thought they were, especially as more and more gyms started running the exact same things. So the marketplace became really overcrowded. Everybody had ads that looked the same. So everybody had an ad with, a picture of all their members after a workout that they promised personal trainer-led workouts, they promised meal plans, they promised accountability, they promised, great community. So everybody's sort of making the same promises. Every gym in my town started running Facebook ads and all the Facebook ads looked the same, or they were using the same copy, or they were using landing pages that looked the same. And so what I noticed is that people really started to become immune to the ads. They stopped working as well. My cost per lead went up. And people also became really skeptical. Like they started thinking in their heads, oh, I've been to one of those places. Or, oh, you're just like that place. I've tried it out and I didn't get results. So not only were the ads not working as well, but it was harder to convert people into a membership, or not even convert them into a membership, to even just get them to buy anything. Even if it was something really small, like 21 days for $21, it was getting harder and harder to get people to take action because they were becoming skeptical and immune to the Facebook ads. And then as more and more businesses started using SMS, like not just gyms, but my dentist started using SMS and my hairstylist and my chiropractor, and I'm getting more and more messages from businesses, I started noticing that leads were responding less to the automation. Like in the beginning, it was great. You'd send out these automated messages. People would book first appointments or workouts. And it took very little manual work from my team. But as SMS started growing in popularity, again, people just stopped responding to the automation, and all of a sudden it was a lot harder to get leads to respond to any sort of communication, whether it's a text or an email. And so all of this sort of added up to my business wasn't growing. It was doing fine. We were making money, but my EFT wasn't growing. And I love EFT because that's what gives you predictability and dependability in your business. Like, every month you have those membership dues coming in. And so what I noticed is while these challengers were great because they gave me front end cash, they weren't turning into long-term members. So those that did convert didn't stick around very long, maybe a couple months. And I constantly felt like I had to sell more and more 6-week challenges to feed the needs of my business or for profitability, but I wasn't really getting that EFT on the back end. So all of this led to, I felt like I was losing members as fast as I was signing them up. So I'd lose a few members, I'd convert some challengers into members, then I'd lose a few more members. So it felt like I just wasn't going anywhere. Again, I was stuck in this cycle of constantly needing to sell more and more 6-week challenges or more and more front-end offers to increase the profitability of my business, and there was no stability from that EFT. So again, every month I had to sell more and more 6-week challenges. And, this kind of led to a period where I felt like I didn't have the ability to pay myself. I was spending all of this money on Facebook ads that were more and more expensive, my marketing budget. I was spending a lot more in payroll to fulfill the 6-week challenges. And it just felt like I was spending all this money on customer acquisition, and then my business wasn't growing. So my profit margins were actually dwindling and decreasing. So that's when I decided, okay, I need to really figure out what's going on here and how can I get away from the norm? How can I get away from what everyone else is doing and fix this issue so I'm not in this sort of like 6-week challenge churn factory type model? So what I realized is that the 6-week challengers, like the offer was broken. That offer wasn't attracting prospects who were looking for a long-term gym membership. So instead, it was attracting prospects who are thinking, okay, I'm just here for this 6-week challenge. So the 6-week challenge is expensive and I'm promising them they're gonna lose 20, 30 pounds, whatever it is. So the prospects that I were attracting were thinking, hey, I'm gonna give you most, if not all of the money I have to solve this problem, to lose most, if not all of the weight that I have to lose. So I was attracting people who were like, hey, I'm coming here for a 6-week challenge, instead of attracting people who are like, hey, I'm going to try this place out to see if it's a good fit so that I can become a long-term member. So the offer by design was flawed and it wasn't attracting the right kind of prospects that I needed. So I wanted to attract long-term clients. I wanted clients who were going to stick around, who were going to be a member for 1, 2, 3 years, whatever it is. So if I was going to do that, I needed to change the offer. I could not use this 6-week challenge offer anymore. The other thing that I realized I needed to do was to stand out from my competition. Again, everybody's ads looked the same if they weren't exactly the same. Everybody was using images that looked similar. Everybody was using copy that sounded similar. And it didn't matter what marketing company it was from. Like everybody was using the same sort of like cookie cutter ad copy. Or cookie cutter landing pages, again, that just said the same thing. And so the market became super, super saturated with everybody who is making the same promises. So if I was going to attract better quality clients who were going to pay me more, I needed to separate myself from the competition. Now I realized that if I did these things, if I created a better offer that was going to attract the right kind of prospects, and I was able to separate myself out from the competition, then my business would start growing and I could finally have enough money to pay myself because I wasn't dumping all of my money into customer acquisition and into challenge fulfillment. Okay, so this is around the time when I started trying out every single offer under the sun. So anytime somebody else recommended an offer, I was like, hey, I'm gonna try this out. My franchise recommended offers, I tried those out. Another friend who's a gym owner recommended an offer, I tried this out. And all of the offers would work for a little bit whenever I threw up a new ad, but man, I was exhausted. I felt like I was constantly editing landing pages. I was constantly creating new Facebook ads. I was constantly training my team how to fulfill whatever it was, a 6-week challenge, a 12-week challenge, a 30-day, 2-week, like whatever it was. So I was burnt out and exhausted. My team was like, what's next, Laura? Now what do you have for us? They were getting burnt out, exhausted. And this wasn't really working either. So I had to really sit down and ask myself, okay, what have I learned from everything that I've tried so far? I know 6-week challenges are working. I know constantly changing from offer to offer isn't working. So, again, how can I attract the right prospects who want to stick around? And how can I separate myself from the competition? Okay, so this is when I started to craft a new offer that was designed to attract long-term prospects. And this offer was so different from what everyone else was doing. I basically eliminated the competition, and at this time I was able to raise prices. So the analogy that I like to use is it's kind of like milk. When you go to the store, you've got organic milk and regular milk, but all milk pretty much just tastes like milk. So I prefer organic milk for my family. When I go, I'm not tied to any one brand. I basically just buy whatever organic milk is the cheapest. And this is what happens when you start saying the same thing as everybody else. All you can do is compete on price because everybody has the same services. People don't want a gym that's better. Somebody doesn't want, oh, well, our workouts are better. Our personal trainers are better. Our communities are better. Like, nobody wants that. If you want to be able to raise prices, if you want to be able to attract people who are excited to work with you, you have to create a new category. So using that milk analogy, let's say all of a sudden there's unpasteurized milk. When you go to the store, there's maybe one unpasteurized milk brand. It's twice the price of all of the other milks. And so they've created this new category where it's something different. It's not just regular milk or organic milk. It's unpasteurized milk. It has these different health benefits. And because of that, they're able to charge more and they eliminate the competition because they've created their own category. So this was the same thing that I realized that I had to emulate for my own business. I had to stop trying to compare myself to others and just make the same thing better that everybody else was doing. I had to create a new category. I had to say something different. I had to have a pattern interrupt. And I also realized that I had to stop relying on this automation. So people weren't stupid. They knew that the messages were automation. And I realized that when someone gets an automated message, it's easy to ignore. When I get an automated message from my chiropractor or my dentist or my kid's school, in my head, I view that number as spam and I just look at it, clear it out, but I don't take it seriously and I don't respond to it. But when a friend sends me a text message, I always respond to it. So I realized that I had to change the automation or change the lead follow-up process that I was using to start communicating with my prospects more like I would communicate with a friend. For example, the automation that I was sending out would say things like, hey, thanks for clicking on the ad. Here's the link to book the first workout. Hey, just a reminder, here's to book the first workout. Excited to see you at your first workout. Hey, you still haven't booked yet. Hey, don't want to bother you, but don't forget to book your first workout. And I realized that just sounded too salesy, right? I was just kept selling, book the workout, and the messages sounded automated and insincere. I would never text a friend and say, hey, here's my calendar, book a time to work out. I would text a friend and I would say, hey, do you want to meet me at the gym for a workout tomorrow? So once I started changing my lead follow-up to, sound like a text message I would send a friend instead of these automated messages that sounded like they were from a business, all of a sudden I started getting a super high response rate from leads. Messages that were left unanswered before now all of a sudden had a super high response rate. So I've got ads that started working. I've raised my prices. My leads are responding to what I'm saying. And so the last thing I needed to do in order to streamline my process was to create a new way to enroll members without being salesy. And this is part of what I learned was wrong with this sort of 6-week challenge method, is that it was just so salesy, so pushy. I was the only one that could do it. I was constantly working nights and taking time away from my family so that I could do these high pressure sales appointments. I tried to hire a sales manager and I ended up paying them a lot of money. So I was like, how can I create a better way to enroll members? And the whole process just felt kind of icky and and insincere. Like, I didn't get in this business to high pressure salespeople into purchasing something to make them feel bad about themselves in order to purchase something from me. I got into this business because I genuinely care about people and I wanted to help them. So I started to think about, how can I make my enrollment process super easy? How can I make it super easy for people to say yes without feeling like a high pressure sleazy salesperson, and making a process so easy, like anyone on my team can do it. An admin can do it, a coach can do it, someone with absolutely no sales skills can do it, so that I'm not tethered to my business, so that I can be home in the evenings to spend time with my kids and my husband and my family. So I realized I needed to create a new way to enroll members to kind of finish out this conversion process. Okay, so lastly, what I realized is that while all of this SMS automation was great, that email wasn't dead. In fact, email was rocking. And I had this huge email list that I had built up with over 10,000 emails. And so I discovered an email hack that allowed me to extract money from my email list. In the first month I implemented it, I extracted over 20K in sales from the email list that I've already have. And I continue to use this strategy month after month to get sales from my email list, so that I wasn't so reliant on Facebook ads, and so that I wasn't so heavily reliant on text messages. I realized I needed to kind of go all in on email. All right, so all of a sudden, a lot of great things started happening. Facebook ads started working again because I wasn't saying the same thing as everyone else. My ads looked different, and I separated myself from the competition. So people who are immune to my ads before now were clicking on my ads. My cost per lead went way down. All of a sudden, people started responding to my text messages because I was texting them like a friend. They were excited to come in and meet me, and they feel like they already knew me. And my text messages were working really well, and my show up rate was insane. I wasn't spending hours and hours calling leads to book appointments that didn't show up. My show rate was about 80%. And again, I was attracting people who were excited to work with me, excited to come in, excited to get started. 90% of trials were converting into long-term gym members that stayed for over a year. I was no longer in that churn factory of signing up 6-week challenges, having them stay for a couple months and then leaving. Like, people were signing up. I wasn't the one selling them. My admin was selling them. My team was selling them, and they were staying for a year or longer. And finally, my team was so much less stressed out. Like, running 6-week challenges and doing them well is exhausting. We didn't have the stress of that. Everything was simpler. We had a simple sales process. We had a simple lead follow-up process. We had a simple trial process. And I could spend a lot more time away from my facilities. In fact, after I implemented all this, I spent about 10 hours a week managing all of my locations. I did this from home. We moved several hours away, and I only visited my locations once a quarter. So everything was running like a well-oiled machine, and I had so much more time and freedom to spend with my family and my kids. And the best part is I got that consistency and predictability in my business, because each month my EFT was growing. Each month I took home more profits because I wasn't dumping all of my money back into customer acquisition. So this new process worked. I had more money, I had more freedom, and everybody, including myself and my team and my family, had far less stress. So what is this method? This method is called the Breakout Method, and it's exactly what my client Samantha started doing in order to get those leads, utilizing her email list, utilizing leads from Facebook, and getting them for less than $2 because, again, she utilized the strategies in the Breakout Method. She stopped saying the same things as everybody else. She changed her lead follow-up. She made a super simple sales process, and her business is growing as a result of it. So the Breakout Method will help you attract high quality prospects who are ready to pay a premium. So we're no longer just competing on price. Everybody's selling milk. We're in that new category, something new and excited that people are chomping at the bit to try out. It's something different. It's not, oh, one of those places. It's, oh, this is new. Oh, let me try this. Maybe this will finally be the thing. And it attracted the right kind of prospects who are looking for a long-term gym membership solution instead of those who are just looking for a 6-week challenge and then heading out the door. And it's going to help you consistently grow your EFT, not front-end cash. So whenever I see a post of, oh, I made this much front-end cash or I sold this month, who cares? Nobody gives a shit about how much front-end cash that's here today and gone tomorrow. What I care about is EFT. How much is your EFT growing? How much can you consistently rely on every month? So the average gym owner who's using the Breakout Method, their business grows by $1,500 a month in EFT. So think about that. That's $18,000 a year in EFT, not front-end cash, that every single month you'll get. Some grow even faster. And putting all of this together in the Breakout Method is going to allow you to work less, take home, and just not having the stress of constantly running 6-week challenges. So do you want to learn more about the Breakout Method? Do you want to find out exactly what it is, what it entails, and if it's right for you? If so, just comment down below. I'll shoot you a Facebook message and we can chat more over Messenger so I can learn more about your business and if the Breakout Method might be right for you.